It's longer time. Yay! Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else? Greetings, bonjour, what's happening? Welcome to Lager Time. My name is Paul Cree. This is my little blog, podcast type thing where I share bits of writing that I'm working on currently, be it poems, stories, thoughts, or music. And today is going to be a Not Quite Live edition. It's what I call the Not Quite Live editions. This is the fourth one that I've done. I've not done one of these since, and I had to look this up, September the 26th last year. So this is where really I run through like a set of poems and stories and a bit of music, and there will be all three of those today in this episode. I like to do it every now and again. I started doing it maybe 2 years ago because I still class myself as a performer, though mainly most of the stuff when I do perform these days, it's not that often. It's quite often more on the theatre side of things. Or if I am performing the poems and whatever stories, sort of solo stuff, tends to be in like schools and things like that. Though once in a blue moon, I do get asked to go and perform. Now, if you can hear that in the background, it is the bin trucks. No matter what I do, I always seem to record this when the bin trucks come, and they don't consistently come at the same time every week. So today is a Tuesday. All right, it's a Tuesday, and the date is the 23rd of July. So this will probably go out on the Friday, which I think is the something of July. 3rd, Wednesday, 4th, 5th, 6th, 27th. Well, I don't know. 27th of July. So it's Tuesday. I last recorded an episode last month. So it's been about a month. I've been a busy boy. I've just come back. Well, I got back on Sunday night from Birmingham. I was up there for 4 days with the Love Scripted show, which if you've been listening, I'm aware that one of the projects I work on long term is a project called Friends from Afar, which is a project with an organisation called Dream Arts, who I work with in London and have done for the last 3 years. So where we work with a group of mainly unaccompanied asylum seekers and refugees, and we make a theatre show with them. And this is the 3rd year we've been doing it. So this year we expanded the project. We've grown the group and we've got a really decent group. And we've been developing this show called Love Scripted since October last year. Well, that's when we started making it. And this year, as part of the development of the project, we've taken them on a little tour. So we did a performance at Christmas, like the first kind of sharing of the first part of the show, back at Marylebone Theatre in London, where we're based. In February, we took them down to the Palace Theatre in Paynton, in Devon, where they did the first part of the show. Then end of May, we took them to Bristol, where they performed at Actor Theatre, where they did the next part, where they performed 2 parts. And we've just come back from Birmingham, where they performed at the almighty Birmingham Rep Theatre, which is probably the biggest theatre I've ever worked in. It's huge. It's like the South Bank Centre in London. If you've ever been there, it's massive. Where they performed the 2 parts, kind of like rearranged and slightly edited. It was a great trip. I'm exhausted. I'm really knackered after that. These trips tend to be quite exhausting, but the boys did really well. They had a bit of a tough one in Bristol. But this time in Birmingham, I don't know, we had a really good audience. They really smashed it. This is like the best performance they've ever done. And there's 1 or 2 in the group that have been with us for a couple of years now and done a few shows. it was really good. Like they were landing all the notes in the right place, and audiences were reacting in the right places, and yeah, they came back buzzing from that. I think it was a great experience for them and all of us to work at the Birmingham rep. It's huge, and they were really nice there. They were really supportive. So we were programmed as part of a huge sort of youth and community festival they have. It was called Love and Rebellion. There was like over 20 shows programmed over a few days there. So there was a lot of young people about. We met a lot of different groups up there and hung out and did some workshops. And then, yeah, it was pretty full on, as intense 4 days. So when we go on these trips, we all stay in a house together. So myself and Catherine, who co-leads the group, we have to get them up in the mornings and cook them breakfast and also try and do activities that don't involve doing a show, because we work them pretty hard and they get pretty tired of rehearsing. So, it's finding things to do, bowling and restaurants and, I don't know, looking at exhibitions or whatever. So it's non-stop. But it was good. It was really worth it. So yeah, I'm pretty wiped out after coming from that. But we are now on the last leg of the tour and the show making process. So we're back in London, and in 3 weeks' time we do the final show, which will be the full show, and it will be at home, which is Marylebone Theatre, where we're based, on the 12th of August. I will be posting details, etc., about it if you would like to come, which would be great. So yeah, it's like the final leg of the tour, and it's been a mad year. These like the groups are great. They're a great bunch of guys, but also they lots of them have very difficult lives, so it can be quite intense at points with things that they have to go through and stuff like this. But they're like some of the loveliest people I've ever met, and most of them never did anything like this before, and we've got them to a point where they believe that they're actually making like serious, almost professional level theatre work, which is great. And some of them are thinking about doing more of it, which is really good. But ultimately they're having a great time, which is the main reason why we do it. And they're improving their English, and they're meeting people not just in London now, but in different parts of the country, making connections, having experiences and making memories, which is the main reason why we do it. So there you go. That's Birmingham. I'm back. So I'll talk a little bit about what I'm going to do. So I'm going to run through, I've kind of split this up, loosely grouped this into a few very short poems. I'm going to do a little bit of music, then a few more short poems, and then a little bit of music, and then we're done. So basically, over the last sort of month, I've been writing these really short little poems, some of which I've been sticking up on the notes section on Substack. If you use Substack, I know not everyone does, but I put them up on there. Sometimes I probably shouldn't, because they're like unedited, unfiltered. But I've been just collecting them on my phone. It's quite fun to do it on the train. It's kind of how I used to work, really, when I first started writing this stuff many moons ago. And now I've just put them all together, edited them a little bit, and then put them into like 2 different sets. So the reason why I started doing the Not Quite Lives, as I mentioned earlier, was normally when I've got a gig coming up where I've got to perform spoken word stuff or whatever. And they don't come very often these days, really, ever since COVID. I don't perform that stuff much. I don't get asked to perform, to be honest. Occasionally I do, and it's great when I do. But also, I don't have much of an inclination to go out to find these nights either. There's a few gigs that I do every now and again which are really good, which I think I would rather do like a handful of really good gigs than loads of like ones that aren't very enjoyable. And I don't know, I think I did my time going around open mics and all of that stuff, sitting in nights where it's like 300 poets all doing a 10-minute set and there's no one else in the audience. I kind of done my thing doing those. I also don't have much time really to do it. I'm already out a few nights a week doing all the other stuff that I do, the workshops and the theatre stuff. And it takes a toll on home life sometimes. So here we are, but I do like doing this at the end of the day. I like performing. I love writing this stuff, obviously. And this is a good opportunity. It's like a good go-between between the live stuff and the writing stuff. And here I am sat at home. My wife's gone out. It's just me and the doggies. All right, so I'll talk a little bit between them. There is a little bit to talk about because a lot's happened in the last month. But I will get into the first part of it, the first few poems, and then a bit of music, a little bit of chatter, and then we'll go into the second half. So I'm just going to roll straight in. Most of these haven't got names, they've just got dates. So here we go. 17th of July, 2024. I don't think that date is right, actually. Anyway, who cares? I've got unlimited options on my pocket dog for entertainment. Every album I've ever known is available on stream. Countless films, programs and documentaries, all carefully noted by the robot middleman who attempts to curate my choices even though I resist. Perhaps someone should, because here I am, back staring at the penny sweet racks, pocket money stacked, pound coin gripped, fretting that I shouldn't waste this golden nugget. Choose wisely, a voice says. Just choose, a voice says. Too many choices, a voice says. I've no idea what to do, a voice says. So I just freeze and exit. Or I buy what I always buy, stuff my face and walk home, inevitably disappointed. All right, 15th of July. It's there, all the time, ticking away in the background like a taxi meter, the dull rhythm of a countdown clock. Is that all there is? I pray not. 17th of July. AI was here. I think I'm the only person that finds that kind of thing funny. All right, here we go. 10th of July, 24. Yeah, I'm getting old. Don't I know it? My ears do. I bang on the radio, tune in, then tune out. Fast. Somewhere in that mulch I hear is some drums, a bass line, a melody and a vocal. It all slops down the log hole like prison porridge. I've done my time, mate. I'm out. God, these are all quite melancholic, aren't they? Right, this is a good one. 8th of July. A wise man once said to me, when you're playing football, always be wary of old fat geezers. Don't underestimate them. Thought he was talking bollocks. We all knew types that fit the stereotype, there for the banter and the pints, but not much else. So there I was, years later, a cold Wednesday evening under the lights, playing over in Shepherd's Bush, some organised kickabout on the Astro. There's this leery fat guy, scraggy beard and gut bouncing over his belly whenever he took a couple of steps forward. He was at least in his mid-40s. Spent most of the game sat in the middle of the pitch, not moving a great deal, gobbing off a lot, pointing in various directions. I thought, I've got the run on this one. Easy. I played in the middle too, with pretensions of some kind of difference maker. I was young enough to still run box to box with a little trick or two. For the life of me, I could not get anywhere near this geezer, nor could I get the ball off him. It was like the ball was a pinball when his feet were the pincers. Couple of touches and barely any movement bar his belly flapping, he would send me one way with him and the ball going the other to quickly thread a killer pass to his attackers or have a pop on goal himself. It's like he could read my mind and do exactly what I was going to do, either blocking me or directing someone else into position. 3 seconds ahead. Story goes he was an ex-pro who never quite made it. One of them that liked the banter and the pints. One of them that wise guy was warning me about. Apparently, the leagues were full of them. All right, I don't know if you just clocked that, but one of the beats from one of the songs that I'd lined up to play started playing midway through that. So I had to stop the recording because a beat started playing in the wrong place. So if it sounds a little bit glitchy, that's because I had to stop it. But yeah, let's just keep this flowing. We'll do a couple more. Then we'll do some rapping. 8th of July, 24. After many years of trying, I've finally come to terms with not understanding half of what they are. No, it's doing it again. Okay, we'll do that again. God, I was trying to be organised with this as well, to line up the beats and stuff, but well, okay, we'll go again. After many years of trying, I finally come to terms with not understanding half of what these writers write about. Maybe they don't know either. Yeah. Self-explanatory, I suppose. All right. One more, and then we'll actually do the music that you just got a little snippet of accidentally. So 5th of July is a good one. We called him the Terminator. No idea what his real name was. He was a middle-aged Asian guy with an accent that had probably been in England long enough to know the notes of a British-born chancer. He was the ticket inspector at Crawley Station, defending his booth like a garrison, the troll on the bridge, the final boss for every white boy in a 20-mile radius. Didn't let anyone through without showing him a valid ticket. A one-man border force with a look that could burn holes through your sternum, isolate and amplify your petty lies and make you reflect on your life. Tickets, please. Nah, brother, I dropped it on the track. Go and get it then. He feared no one, took no jib. 10-pin white boys trying to bowl through got struck down in one move. X-Mark, bust stats off the charts. We used to joke he never left that booth. Night and day he was there, eyes wide open like a bird of prey. Until one day, he weren't there no more. Chancers of all stripes most likely rejoiced into the night, taking joy rides down on those trains all the way back to Crawley. Okay, right, there you go. So on the fly, I'm going to try and move this beat into position and hopefully not crash my computer at the same time. So there's a few poems, yeah, there's some kind of morbid-y ones. So I guess a lot of it I'm writing in reaction to what's going on. I don't normally write like that, but tell you, I'm having fun with it. So I'm about to play you one of two tracks. So I've been working on a bit of music, which I've been threatening to do for ages. So it's part of an EP I'm going to do called More 64s of Boredom. So in 2020, when we went into lockdown, I decided to do an EP back then, which was called Raw 64s of Boredom. And what it was based on was the fact that I had loads and loads of bars and verses that I had kicking around and a load of rough beats that I'd made. And I wasn't doing anything with it. And most of my equipment that I used to record and make music with was in storage. So I just decided, raw as hell, to use what I had, which was my laptop with a basic version of Cubase, a microphone, and a load of beat loops I've made on iMachine, which is an app that I use to make beats with. It's like the app version of a full piece of physical kit and software called Machine, which I have both. And it was just a way to, I love making beats and I love rapping, really, and no other reason. So I just love spitting. So they're called 64 bars of boredom or more 64s of boredom because each verse is 64 bars long. There's no choruses, there's no hooks. It's just me barring. And sometimes I might split them up into like a 232s, but for this one, I'm just going to be barring. So it's like the beat it's not quite mixed properly yet. So these are kind of like works in progress. But anyway, this first one's called Review. So like I'm just watching it load up on the thing now. So right, let's get rolling. Let's find the bars. Here we go. So more 64s of boredom. I'm hoping it will come out in September or October. Yeah. Right, here it comes. It's coming now. It's not exactly playing it where I want it to play. But here we go. More 64s of boredom. Review. There you go. Playing in the right place. Large Out Ruckus T out in France. All right, let's have it. In 2023, could have fooled me, I'm still stuck in 2020. Like in 2020, thoughts like confetti, scattered very messy. Tangle like spaghetti and heavy on the belly, so I'm looking for some clarity. Looked in the mirror and all I got was vanity. Then asked my reflection, why you always getting mad at me? Walked away tragically, casually, casting aspersions on the family. 2020 got brushed under the carpet like the jazz playing cards we all bought from the market. Who's asking? To question was taboo, and to get caught asking was embarrassing for you, so what to do? And time to clear the air, but the pump is CO2. Like casinos in Reno, we know they gamble with the truth. But when we're all hitting treble cherries, there's no news. Short term, long cost, like the sun, or followed by frost. And too quick to whip off our tops, fire up the barbecue lager and alco pops. Now is it me or are my eyes going boss to have the taxman and Grim Reaper swap their jobs? Or are they the same man, moonlight and spray tan? Either that or they must shop at the same shops. Running at a loss, run out of steam when you're running your jeans. Leave a big hole that grows at the seams. Meanwhile you're trying to impress the girl of your dreams. In 2023 trying to find new meanings on the meaning of living a life free and making ends meet. That meet my DDs that fly at my account like a swarm of killer bees. 2024, pessimism got shown out the door. He ain't welcome anymore, got dropped at the port, put on a ship all aboard. But optimism was sure, straight off like the colour of his talk. He had a purpose when he walked, gave me a new slant on my thoughts. Encore, en foi, bonsoir, bon voyage to the past is to us. Here's the wisdom, he's here to join the mission as we're all sitting chilling back seat of the bus. Coach trip towards the coast, we keep it dry like unbuttered toast. Impulses at the side of the road, hand out no direction to go. Cuts a forlorn face, stare out the window as I think of the days. Blowing through papers on lager and J's. On mundane days, weekend escapades. Made my escape, but I'm off to a flame. Light up the old circus in my brain, get the thought, get the feeling, now gagging for a taste. Fizzy is the state, a violent shake of a 2-litre lemonade. How do I make it go away? Calm down and dissipate. Run, work out or lift weights. Problem is I have to concentrate. It's the battle for an age. Maybe next year I'll finally find a way. There you go. 64 bars. That one is called Review. So I wrote the first half of it last year, obviously. 2023 and then 2024. Just having a little bit of fun, just barring. So let's let the track run out. There you go. Yeah, so I don't know if you have Spotify and all of that. The original raw 64s of boredom is on there. It's very rough. It's not mixed properly. But I did what I did at the time. Also, since then, I like to think I've got a bit better at recording and producing and stuff. But I don't do it for any other reason other than the fact that I just like spitting. It's what I started all these years ago now, over 20 years ago. I started with rapping, and I just want an excuse to rap, really. Sometimes I think I'm too old, but then I think, who cares? Okay, right. So let's get back into some more poems. So yeah, there's a few just before I get into that. A few things have happened in the last few weeks, and there's touched on a little bit in some of the pieces. So obviously we had the football. England got to the final, surprisingly. I won't say too much on it, but I think for the first time ever watching England go out of a tournament, I think I didn't feel angry or hurt. It was clear to me and pretty much everyone I've spoken to is that the best team won on the day and the best team from the whole tournament. England, I don't know. I think you just watch other teams like a Spain, and it feels like every player in their squad, let alone 11 players on the pitch, has a very specific job, and they all know what that job is. Whereas England, it's like they're just a sort of collective of individuals, and I don't doubt that they're all giving it 100% and they all want to do it, but I don't know. It is what it is. There's a vacancy for the manager. I worry because who would want to take that job? No matter how much money you throw at it, it's like, it's a thankless task, I suppose, managing England. And like, it's whoever gets it's going to need a lot of time. 5 years, maybe 6 years. And who wants it? Who really, really wants that stress and pressure? But anyway, and then of course we had an election, which is the most least surprising election result ever. Not going to say too much on that because I don't have much of an opinion, to be honest. I'll wait and see what Labour do. I've seen a few of their policy announcements. Some of them sound good. Some of them just sound empty. In case you're interested, this is the first time ever in my life I spoiled my ballot. So I graffitied all over it. And I feel like I've been reading about ballot spoiling for quite a while. I felt like it was a valid political act because I don't like any of them. And maybe that's a cop-out, but I think it's a valid political thing to do. I've never ever voted right-wing in my life. And to me, Labour Party aren't what they were. I don't like them. I don't trust them. And the alternatives, I don't like either. So there you go. I spoiled my ballot. But anyway, let's get into this. So a few more of these, another beat, and then we're done. Where are we at? Half an hour almost. Here we go. 5th of July. Woke up to the election result. Doggies needed a dump. Outside it was pissing it down. Little princess didn't want to go, shifting her weight to the back legs when I put the harness on. Listen, girl, I said, we both know that you need to do your business, along with the little man who's not complaining. So let's just get out there and seize the day. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new era. So why not start it with a nice big dump? Poignant, I thought. I didn't want to be out there either. I was knackered and just wanted to go back to my D-reams. I took them instead to the small park, normally reserved for the quick walks when I'm running late. I was only in a rush to get back and stare out the window. Quick and easy was the order of the day. I was out there for over an hour, walking round and round in the pissing rain. They made it as difficult as possible. Left it to the last minute to shit, repeatedly resisted the pull of the lead, squatting under trees, shifting their weight from back to front. Almost as if, despite the wet, they were exercising their very own protest vote, punishing me for both taking them out in the rain and then trying to mug them off with the short route, pretending it's better than what it is, just so they can take a shit. How fitting, I thought. It is a new dawn. 2nd of July. Oh, hold on. 2nd of July. If the rug were to be pulled from under my feet, what would the floorboards look like? Or would I fall right through to the ground below? In fact, why stop at concrete? Just how long could I go? Hell's the limit. Not quite sure what I was getting at there. 1st of July. I was getting a drink from the kitchen, readying myself to do battle with the telly. England versus Slovakia, Euros second round. Outside, 2 World War II planes roared over Maidstone, a mighty sight and sound. Was it a sign? Maybe. England was shit, but they won. That's a true story. Also, I don't actually know if they were World War II planes, but they sounded like they were Spitfires or whatever. And it was like quite an impressive sight. I've seen them once around here. There is an airfield about 10 miles away in Rochester. So I don't know if that's where they come from. But yeah, it was a weird little moment. It was quite a cool little sight. But yeah, I wish I knew more about military aircraft. So I'd be able to pinpoint exactly what they were. But they were flipping loud and they looked quite cool in the sky. So there you go. 30th of June. My brother Will would often say, always leave the ravers wanting more. What about when they want less? 28th of June, 24. Lizzie Line, Whitechapel bound. I'm on the corner seat where the carriages connect. A couple gets on. They sit on opposite seats. The female speaks. So you're not going to sit next to me then? Continuing with today's theme. She pulls out her phone, tuts, looks down and starts scrolling. The geezer just sits with his arms crossed and looks at the adverts above her head. Pensions, life insurance and online dating. Silent the whole journey. I've been there, bruv. That's my dog kicking off downstairs. But yeah, I've definitely been that guy before. 23rd of June. I was like, oh man, I'm glad I'm not in your shoes. 23rd of June. I don't know, who knows? Maybe he had a genuine reason to be annoyed. I don't know if you can hear that. That's my dogs going nuts downstairs. Probably the neighbour has the temerity to go into his own garden, which they're probably barking at. 23rd of June, Woolwich Station, Lizzie Line. 6 staff guard the luggage gate. 5 rude boys come up the stairs. Staff stare. Rude boys casually force the barrier and bowl off, barely breaking a stride. Staff tut. I tut. Swipe on. Transport theme. 27th of June. Oh, bloody hell. I might have to go and intervene in a minute. Amongst the patchy shells in Co-op, they only had low-fat Greek yogurt. Next morning, my porridge played like that Euros when there was no fans. Right, I'm going to have to pause this because my dog's going nuts. Hold on. And we're back. Sorry about that. The whole point of me doing this is that I can do it continuously as one whole live thing. I hate having to turn it off. And surprise, surprise, my dogs were barking at nothing. They were at the front of the house. And I don't know, sometimes they bark at like if there's a cat in the front or a pigeon or whatever. Right. Yeah, here we go. Okay, where was I? All right. There's only a few more to go, by the way. So 26th of June. I'm having a meeting with myself. Oh, no, I'll start that again. 26th of June. I'm having a meeting with myself. He's a cock. Hate these meetings. Waste of time. The money's not coming in, mate. I say. I know, I reply. So what's going on? I say. I've been working my ass off, I reply. No one's saying you haven't, mate. Why are you being all defensive? I say. I'm not, I reply. I'm just trying to find out what you're doing about it, that's all, I say. Do you know how hard it is out there for artists? I was killing it before COVID, I reply. Oh, here we go again, I say. Oh, why you got to talk down to me like that? I reply. This is pointless, I say. You're telling me you never listen, I reply. Fine, mate. Do your own thing, I say. Yeah, whatever, mate. I don't need you putting me down, I reply. Meeting over. Told you. Wanker. I hate meetings. Okay, so all right, it's one more. One more, and then some bars, and then we're done. Yeah, this one's actually got a name. It's 27th of June, but it's called The Arts. When good intentions have terrible outcomes, at what point do you hold your hands up and admit you got it wrong? Never. Okay. Right, let me load up this beat. I've gone way over where I wanted it to go. So this will be another track off More 64s of Boredom. It's probably going to be 4 of them. This one's sort of called Ball Against the Wall. So if you like what I do, as ever, as weird and all over the gaff as this was, yeah, I don't know, like and subscribe or whatever. I'm still not quite sure what I'm doing. Obviously, the last kind of year and a half with Lager Time, I've been doing these big projects, and then now I'm just kind of back to doing raw stuff. Anyway, here we go. Yeah. Oh shit, I've missed the start. Hold on, sorry, I'm pulling that back because I missed the start when I wanted to start. Yeah, okay. So this is raw 64s. It's another 64 bar verse. This one is called Down the Side of the House. But yeah, subscribe on Substack if you can. Find me Spotify, Apple, and all that stuff. Tell your mates. Maybe next month I'll know what I'm doing, but I'm doing this right now, which is music. Here we go. From the kid on his once, down the side of the house, kicking the ball against the wall, sneaking biscuits in his mouth. Head full of fantasies that often act him out, and standing up to dickheads and smacking them in the mouth. Rolling up to pretty girls and asking them out. Walking around with the bop like the talk of the town. Excelling in something I was excited about, then feeling guilty for thinking it, head rolling back down. An introspective kid, my dad warned against it. When people called me out on it, I'd get defensive, withdrawing further in when it might overload my senses. I isolate my family and arms length my friendships. I don't know, it was just the way to cope. I retreat inside my head whenever I got the goat. I wasn't antisocial, just at times low, and preferred being on my own. Misunderstood, frustrated and pissed off. I spent my teens in my head, a mask fully on, or dicking about with mates, getting lost. It kicked out of college, then bounced from job to job. Realised fast the world owed me nothing. Spent my best years in arrears, in debt, struggling. Everything mum and dad said would end up happening, from when they got the letters back, the lessons I was slacking in. I worked retail, laboured and cleaned offices, collected debts on dreams and broken promises. We swapped God for material pornographers, looking at our lives through rose-tinted binoculars. Despite the mess, I had a curious brain, a hunger for knowledge that I could barely contain. So much I didn't understand, I lacked a frame, and something at school I never gained. I ploughed through books on politics and philosophy, struggling to grasp the meanings through the verbosity. I felt stupid, like the writers must be mocking me, 'cause I was a posh kids trying to protect their monopolies. Paranoid, isolated and skinned, insecure and inept. Every job I was shit, I'd make regular mistakes in putting data into spreadsheets, and get home and collapse into my bed sheets. I'd phone mum and dad with water in my eyes. They tell me keep on, keeping on, you'll be alright. I prayed to God when at times I couldn't sleep at night. I'd read my comics or I'd sit there and write. Thank goodness for the pen and the pad. Added a spring to my step that was previously flat. It gave me meaning and excitement that I'd never really had. So I threw my weight into it, started burning the flap. So here we are on this wonky little path. More twists and turns and a run from Neymar. Looking back, realizing I've come far. Despite the hard times, I always had a laugh. It's out to life's hurdlers rising to every challenge. All the introverts sat there imagining. All the strugglers skin I'm barely managing. All the non-academics manual handling. All the kids who behaved and studied hard. All the teachers trying to motivate the class. All the parents with the purest of hearts. And it's out to all the kids who probably never had a chance. It's back down to the side of the house with the kid trying not to drown, swimming in doubt. Put my hand on his shoulder, straighten his collar out. Tell him not to worry so much, you'll figure it out. Bish bash bosh. There you go. 64 bars. A load of short little poems. Nice one for listening if you've got this far. That was a little bit of a mess, but it's kind of why I do it. Puts me in a good position knowing what I've got in the tank in terms of poems and music. So I'm hoping that more 64 bars of boredom will be out on streaming platforms September or October. I just gotta mix it all down, record the vocals. There's 2 other tracks that I want to do as well that I need to re-record. In the meantime, 12th of August on Marylebone Theatre, Love Scripted, the final show. It's been a long year, long tour. Then, you know, have a little bit of a break after that. Tell your mates. Also, large up a few people I've met through Substack and people that I've reconnected with that I knew BC before COVID. Carla Marie Sweet and Anna Beecher, 2 people I knew in a life before COVID and lockdown when I was doing loads of gigs. But I don't do that anymore, which is why I do this. But anyway, nice one. Thanks for listening. Have a lovely weekend. Let's just be going out on Friday. Peace and taters.
It's longer time. Yay!
Lager time. Poems, stories and thoughts. By me, Paul Cree. Who else?